First, while these words get interchanged constantly by many, revenue forecasts do not equal sales forecasts for many companies. This is the case when opportunities illustrate a commitment of revenue that is expected over time and not a singular closed deal. Additionally, once the commitment occurs, the ability to track the progression of the expected revenue becomes difficult. Finally, while there's a large focus on tools to manage the sales process until the time of close, the creation of revenue forecasts from sales to finance is suboptimal. This lack of alignment between sales and revenue forecasts leads to operational inefficiencies, as can be seen here. Spreadsheets are created in ridiculous numbers to gather and create forecast data. Timeliness becomes an issue because the effort necessary to create the forecast leaves little to no time to provide an accurate view of performance. Also, inaccuracy is created because of this manual process, as well as missing a complete view of the data. Finally, and most importantly, once the commitments do occur, the tracking of revenue stops and gaps are created in what is recognized versus what has been committed. In our view, there are three core areas of the revenue lifecycle that are necessary to effectively manage it. First, the ability to understand the relationship of a booking to the related revenue of an opportunity. Next, the ability to maintain a consistent revenue forecast in the sales process and continuing this forecast even after the deal is closed. And finally, revenue realization, the area of our focus today, is the ability to realize the revenue that has been committed at the time of sale. This chart graphically represents the idea of revenue realization. In a perfect world, the cumulative revenue from the deal, the light blue line, as you can see here, will be equal to the committed booking, the dark blue line. However, due to delays and operational issues and mismatched expectations with customers, these lines diverge. This leads to a revenue realization gap between actuals and commitments. Revenue realization issues present themselves in various ways in metrics around your company. Pricing provided for volumes never achieved can affect gross margins. Commissions paid at a higher percentage than what is realized increase the cost of sales. Shipments not meeting expectations leads to higher inventories and working capital, affecting cash and revenue that is delayed. And finally, lower than expected revenue growth leads to lower company valuation or share price. We view that there's an opportunity exists to align revenue with bookings and pipeline to close this gap between sales and finance and to address these challenges. And to achieve that, there are various best practices that we see that can improve the revenue lifecycle. First, improved diligence in the opportunity process using tools like CPQ can ensure that bookings are a realistic model of revenue. It all starts in the front and the fact that your sales pipeline has to be a realistic view of what the revenue can become. Secondly, the ability to utilize finance methodology to automate the creation of revenue forecasts from the opportunity pipeline. Next, having the ability to manage revenue forecasts from commitments, not only at the time of close, but also post-close. In many organizations, this just does not occur. The minute the deal is stopped, the visibility just then gets thrown over to finance, and the connection of the folks that actually know the customer and know the deals is lost. Finally, the creation of a link of financial or operational data back to the commitment to make tracking of actual performance easier.